Now, a while back, I made a video talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder and their future, and I talked about their success they could have this season and their plans going forward, but I think the Thunder this season have been way better than most people would have expected. Now, I know it's only 9 games into the season, but currently the Thunder are tied for the 8th seed with a record of 5-4. This was a team that most people expected to be in the lottery, be possibly a bottom 3 team in the league. When I did my power rankings, I think I had them 27th or something like that. I didn't think they were going to be that good. But I did say that I think there was a small chance that they could shock people and be a borderline playoff team, like they did last year with Chris Paul, and like this year they could be doing. Now, the only difference is I don't think the Thunder really should be trying to make the playoffs. Because when you trade all of your players and acquire all these picks, you want to be, you don't want to be a bad team, but you don't want to be one of those teams that ends up being the 9th, 10th seed, doesn't make the playoffs, and then gets a bad pick. I think the Thunder imagines a timeline where they end up with Cade Cunningham or maybe a top 3 pick in the draft, but if they keep playing like they are, maybe they don't get that. Now, if they're going to be good, I'm not saying they shouldn't try to make the playoffs. Obviously, you should try to make the playoffs. But if they try to make the playoffs, they better be sure they make it, because you don't want to be a team that's on the outside looking in and also not having a good pick in the draft. Now, I think there is a real chance that the Thunder, start to fall off towards the end of the season and go back to being a team that wasn't that good like we all thought, because when you look at this roster, yes, I said how I think they could be good, but I don't know if it's sustainable for an entire season. Now, I give other players credit. They're playing really well. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's having a great season, 21 points, great efficiency. His playmaking's gone up to 7 assists, getting about 5 boards. He's just a really great all-around player, and he's the building block of this team. But then you look at some of the other players that I think are overperforming, like, Lu Dort. Lu Dort's a great player, great defender, but I don't know if I can see him shooting 43% from 3 for the entire season. And if he does, that's great for the Thunder, because that's the one thing that was holding back his game. So if he can become a 43% three-point shooter, then Lu Dort is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Darius Bazley, he's playing alright. He's not shooting it great, but still putting up decent points. George Hill, doing George Hill things, 12 points a game, 50% from the field, 40% from 3. He'll probably be a great trade asset for the Thunder come the trade deadline if they want to continue to try to blow it up. One player I think that is a little disappointing for them is Al Horford. I thought the fit with the Thunder would be miles better than it was with the Sixers, and obviously the fit is better, but he's just not playing that well. He's playing less minutes, he's scoring less points, he's shooting it worse from the field and from 3, only 42% from the field as a center. That's not very good, so if there were any dreams of flipping Al Horford into like a first round pick, those dreams are probably, going away. I mentioned in my video that I think there's a chance that the Thunder could end up using those assets to try and acquire a star or a good player. So, is that maybe the direction they're going? Could they try to make a move this season? I doubt it, because I don't think the Thunder would be good enough to, make a championship push, even if they acquire a superstar. This team just doesn't have enough talent to compete with the top teams. So, I think this team is just better off trying to make the playoffs as like a 7-8 seed or completely bottoming out. And right now they're kind of in the middle. The reason I think they'll kind of fall off, like I already talked about how I think their players, are overperforming a little bit. But there's also teams under them that I assume will finish above them, like the Nuggets only being 5-5, Rockets being 3-5. Those teams are obviously better than the Thunder. And right now they're lower. I imagine teams like the Spurs and Pelicans to finish above the Thunder, and steal the 8th seed from them. But the Thunder may not be as low as they want, because there are some teams that are just not playing well, like the Timberwolves. Timberwolves have been really bad this year. They're 3-7, which, I guess that's not the worst record possible, but it's pretty bad when you watch them. They have no consensus lineup to run between offense and defense. When Karl-Anthony Towns is not playing, it's just a train wreck for them. But this isn't about the Timberwolves, this is about the Thunder. Oh no, I think it is a positive thing that the Thunder are doing this well. Like, I know I said they should be bottoming out, but when you have as young of a team as the Thunder and all these assets, and you're playing well without those players being in their prime, without using your picks, then you're set up for the future. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander looks like he could be a first-time All-Star this season. I don't think he'll make it, but, if he keeps playing like he is, I think he has a real shot. I can't help but think of how much Chris Paul helped Shai's game from last season when I watched him play this season. The ability to play make, get his teammates involved, be a leader, be the primary ball handler, draw contact like Chris Paul does. It just seems like so much of Chris Paul has rubbed off of Shai, which makes that Chris Paul trade even more worth it because it helps improve, what's going to be the future of your team. I guess it's just routine now for the Thunder to overperform. 0.2% chance to make the playoffs last year. They made it. It's probably even lower this year. It could happen. Who knows? But the Thunder continue to be, the Thunder continue to have one of the brightest futures in the league and continue to be good at the moment.